NIST Risk Management Framwork, RMF NIST 800-37 Rev.2. NIST 800-37 Rev.2 Risk Management Framework for Information Systems and Organizations, a system lifecycle approach for security and privacy provides guidelines for applying the RMF. RMF is a software development lifecycle (SDLC) process that emphasizes ongoing authorization. RMF consists of 7 different steps. 1. Prepare. 2. Categorize. 3. Select. 4. Implement. 5. Assess. 6. Authorize. 7. Monitor. Step 1. Prepare. The purpose of this step was to carry out essential activities at the organization, mission and business process, and information system levels of the organization. Task B1. Risk management roles. Identify and assign individuals to specific roles associated with security and privacy risk management. Task B2. Risk management strategy. Establish a risk management strategy for the organization that includes a determination of risk tolerance. Task B3. Risk assessment. Organization. Assess organization-wide security and privacy risk and update the risk assessment results on an ongoing basis. Task B4. Organizationally tailored control baselines and cybersecurity framework profiles. Optional. Establish, document, and publish organizationally tailored control baseline. Task B5. Common control identification. Identify, document, and publish organization-wide common controls that are available for inheritance by organizational systems. Task B6. Impact level prioritization. Optional. Prioritize organizational systems with the same impact level. Task B7. Continuous monitoring strategy. Organization. Develop and implement an organization-wide strategy for continuously monitoring control effectiveness. Task B8. Mission or business focus. Identify the missions, business functions, and mission/business processes that the system is intended to support. Task B9. System stakeholders. Identify stakeholders who have an interest in the design, development, implementation, assessment, operation, maintenance, or disposal of the system. Task B10. Asset identification. Identify assets that require protection. Task B11. Authorization boundary. Determine the authorization boundary of the system. Task B12. Information types. Identify the types of information to be processed, stored, and transmitted by the system. Task B13. Information life cycle. Identify and understand all stages of the information life cycle for each information type processed, stored, or transmitted by the system. Task B14. Risk assessment. System. Conduct a system-level risk assessment and update the risk assessment results on an ongoing basis. Task B15. Requirements definition. Define the security and privacy requirements for the system and the environment of operation. Task B16. Enterprise architecture. Determine the placement of the system within the enterprise architecture. Task B17. Requirement allocation. Allocate security and privacy requirements to the system and to the environment of operation. Task B18. System registration. Register the system with organizational program or management offices. Step 2. Categorize. Used to determining the adverse impact of organizational with respect to the loss of confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information by the system. Task C1. System description. Document the characteristics of the system. Task C2. Security categorization. Categorize the system and document the security categorization results. Task C3 Security Categorization Review and Approval. Review and approve the security categorization results and decision. Step 3 Select. Purpose to select, tailor, and document the controls necessary to protection the information system and organization. Task S1. Control selection. Select the controls for the system and the environment of operation. Task S2. Control tailoring. Tailor the controls selected for the system and the environment of operation. Task S3. Control allocation. Allocate security and privacy controls to the system and to the environment of operation. Task S4. Documentation of planned control implementations. Document the controls for the system and environment of operation and security and privacy plans. Task S5. Continuous monitoring strategy. System. Develop and implement a system-level strategy for monitoring control effectiveness that is consistent with a continuous monitoring strategy. Task S6. Plan review and approval. Review and approve the security and privacy plans for the system and the environment of operation. Step 4 Implementation. Implement the controls and the security and privacy plans for the system and for the organization, and to the document in the baseline configuration. Task I1 Control Implementation. Implement the controls and the security and privacy plans. Task I2 Update Control Implementation Information. Document changes to planned control implementations based on the as-implemented state of controls. Step 5 Assess. To determine if the controls selected for implementation are implemented correctly, operating is implemented correctly. Task A1 Assessor Selection. Select the appropriate assessor or assessment team for the type of control assessment to be conducted. Task A2 Assessment Plan. Develop, review, and approve plans to assess implemented controls. Task A3 Control Assessments. Assess the controls in accordance with the assessment procedures described in assessment plans. Task A4 Assessment Reports. Prepare the assessment reports documenting the findings and recommendations from the control assessments. Task A5 Remediation Actions. Conduct initial remediation actions on the controls and reassess remediated controls. Task A6 Plan of Actions and Milestones. Prepare the plan of action and milestones based on the findings and recommendations of the assessment reports. Step 6 Authorize. Provide accountability by requiring a senior management official to determine if the security and privacy risk after the implementation of the control is acceptable. Task R1 Authorization Package. Assemble the authorization package and submit the package to the authorizing official for an authorization decision. Task R2 Risk Analysis and Determination. Analyze and determine the risk from the operation of or use of the system or the provision of common controls. Task R3 Risk Response. Identify and implement a preferred course of action in response to the risk determined. Task R4 Authorization Decision. Determine if the risk from the operation or use of the information system or the provision or use of common controls is acceptable. Task R5 Authorization Reporting. Report the authorization decision and any deficiencies in controls that represent significant security or privacy risk. Step 7 Monitor. The purpose is to maintain an ongoing situational awareness about the security and privacy posture of the information system and the organization. Task M1 System and Environment. Monitor the information system and its environment of operation for changes that impact the security and privacy posture of the system. Task M2 Ongoing Assessments. Assess the controls implemented within and inherited by the system in accordance with the continuous monitoring strategy. Task M7, System Disposal, implement a system disposal strategy and execute required actions when a system is removed from operation. Task M3, Ongoing Risk Response, respond to risk based on the results of ongoing monitoring activities, risk assessments, and outstanding items in plans of action and milestones. Task M4, Authorization Package Updates, update plans, assessment reports, and plan of action and milestones based on the results of the continuous monitoring process. Task M5, Security and Privacy Reporting, report the security and privacy posture of the system to the authorizing official and other organizational officials on an ongoing basis.